Working on another Volkswagen today. This is my friend Mario's 20th anniversary Mark IV GTI. Some of you may know that I actually used to have one. I had one in a Mola yellow. He has the black pearl one. He just bought it, and it has 100-something thousand miles, and it's in great condition. It's just we're not sure if the timing belt service has been done. So he got all the parts he needed for a timing belt, water pump service. Now we have a long day ahead of us. We're gonna go ahead and finish it. That way it'll be a good baseline. We got new plugs, new coil packs, new coolant reservoir tank, new metal pipes instead of the plastic ones. I think he has a vacuum leak that we gotta check out too, and then we'll go ahead and do the timing service.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, shit, yeah. I don't know what any of this stuff is.
Mint. In the passenger side wheel well, underneath the thing here, there's a vacuum canister that's in here, but we'll have to check that. But first we're gonna do is we're gonna start it and put some soapy water that I got there on some of the lines to see if there's a leak somewhere, and then we can check for bubbles.
Some of the old songs.
So we have to let the engine cool before we drain the coolant and go ahead and get started on the time belt. So in the meantime, the Mark IV has this monsoon stereo system, which is really cool, but it doesn't have Bluetooth and some other modern amenities that we have nowadays. So we're gonna go ahead and let the engine cool, and in the meantime we're gonna go ahead and install that. Look at these sick Recaro seats in mint condition. So these Mark IV GTIs came with, the 20th anniversary came with these really sick monsoon radios, and it has all, it has an equalizer and all that other crap, but the only thing it doesn't have is Bluetooth. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that now. So they sell this on Crutchfield, and we'll put a link in the description for this, and we'll let you know how it works. So we finally got the radio out. However, we had to take apart the dash because the pins, where are they? So the keys here, these were they're just cheap crap ones, and they just wouldn't hook in and work properly. So we had to take apart the dash, pull the radio cage out, as you can see here. And so we had to remove the radio cage, pull the radio out, and pull the pins out because the pins got stuck. But now we have the radio out, and we just have to add this Bluetooth module. So you have to remove the CD port of the CD changer in the plug. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. So that's the CD changer plug. That yellow piece has to come out, and then the new one will go in there. So now that we figured out, we got those pins out, we know where essentially you just remove this CD port out of the thing. So you put the Bluetooth thing in here after you remove the CD changer, but we're gonna reassemble all of this first.
For old time's sake. As time goes by.
So we have to get a solid ground for this Bluetooth thing, so I'm just gonna use a sheet metal screw and screw it into a piece of metal down there. That's where we're going. The Bluetooth is working now. So you just hit CD because it hooks into the CD track, and then you can play your song or play your music. Let's see if we can play this without YouTube taking my video down.
Crux Bluetooth connected.
Getting started on the timing belt change. My friend Brett here is adjusting his coilovers.
For old time's sake.
Alright, what time do you have to leave?
Man, why you want me to leave so
No,
bad?
I don't. I'm asking, what time do you have to leave?
Like 15 minutes or so.
What's the chances you can run the nap and get Hennessy's?
Right now?
Yes.
My car's broken.
You can't help a buddy out, man? You can't help a fucking guy out, man?
Fine, I'll do it.
What?
What do you need?
Hennessy's.
I don't know what that is, Nick.
Just ask for Hennessy's.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Anti-C's.
Anti-cease.
Anti-C's. So we may have to cut our losses here. We kind of got a late start because it took us so long to do that stupid Bluetooth thing, which works great, by the way. But the timing belt service is a long one, and these 20ths have the 20th Anniversary GTI has a lot more under tray plastic than the one that I had. The one that I had was kind of beat up. This one's actually in really mint condition. There's pretty much nothing missing in this car. So the piece under it is covering the crank pulley, and in order to get to it, we'd have to remove it. And it looks like we may have to just kind of work into the other services. So we're going to go ahead and change the plugs and the coils, and change the oil while we're here, and maybe take this to somebody to see what they think about, because he has all the parts, and maybe take it to Volksworks or what's the place? Wagon Works. Always works for these German cars. Last time I did this, I had the motor out, and that's why it was relatively easy. This time it's much different. If you know anything about a front-wheel drive car, instead of it being longitudinally, it's transverse. So all the drive belts are on the side close to the wheel well, and there's not a lot of room to work. So that's the problem that we're facing right now. So we're gonna go ahead and change the plugs and do all that other shit right now. So new plugs, you always want to put a little bit of anise on it.
A little bit of Hennessy on it.
And then I like to put a little dielectric grease in there too. Keep the moisture out.
What would you have to do? You gapped it?
So you get a little tool and you bend this thing back or forward.
Oh, to make the gap bigger.
Right.
Gotcha.
I like to
Just a hand tighten.
hand tighten them, give them a snug. So now that the plugs are tight, so we can go ahead and grab the dielectric grease. Dielectric grease. Just drop it on.
Oh yeah, big fella.
Perfect. Alright, plugs are done. Everything reconnected. We got a new coolant reservoir tank. I'm going to put a splash of coolant in there. And now we're going to go ahead and change the oil.
What's up? Hey, what's going on? There it is.
Look at that, all buttoned up and ready to go. We didn't find a vacuum leak anywhere. But we're gonna, after we change the plugs, change the coils, change the plugs, change the coils, change the oil, replace some coolant, and added a Bluetooth radio, which is the most important at this juncture. So we're gonna take it for a test drive here in a minute, see if his lean code comes up. So now that we buttoned all that other stuff up, put the wheel back on, the wheel well cover back on, we're gonna go ahead and change the fuel filter while we're here. And that's what he's taking off now. What I like to do is take the, when you get a new fuel filter, it has a direction. So of course you want the direction that goes to the motor. This is to the fuel tank. And I like to write how many miles are on the car, just to indicate if you don't keep a notebook for your car. And then the new fuel filter will come with these caps. What I like to do is I like to take the old fuel filter, when you disconnect the lines, you cap both ends, because an old fuel filter will be full of fuel. So you cap both ends with these caps that come on the new one, and then you can go ahead and take it out and reconnect the new one. So what I like to do, this one actually had the mileage written on it, the old one. So 60,000 miles, it's been about 70,000 miles, the last one was changed. I like to change these about every 40,000 miles. What I like to do is take it and take a look at the gas and see what condition it's in and see how the filter's doing. These, so you can just look at the flow, take your top off of this one, and then open her up. And that gas is really clean. You can see it's nice and yellow. There's no real dirt in it. So it did a good job. No dirt or anything like that in it. But you can see how much gas is actually in these. So new fuel filter is in. Essentially all you have to do is connect these lines, and we have our mileage written there in big yellow letters. Alright, we're gonna do something really dangerous. Don't try this at home. Oh man, that was anticlimactic.
Is that all it's gonna do?
So overall, we failed. Overall, we failed.
Yeah, we did.
But we got Bluetooth audio. We got new spark plugs, new coils, new oil, new fuel filter.
Yeah.
That's something to be said about this whole thing.
Yeah.
So, we didn't have a check engine light. We did have a little bit of a fuel starvation issue. We think.
Right.
Or a back leak
or
issue.
A leak, yeah.
Or an O2 sensor. We're not entirely sure. The check engine light that we got earlier before we did all this stuff is gone. However, we did disconnect the battery, but we did drive it a decent distance. Nearly 12 miles, so it hasn't reappeared.
Get some for yours?
Yeah, because I have my black diamond one in my car.
Oh yeah.
In my car.
Don't. That's your car? Ah, shit.
What would you have to do? You gapped it?
So you get a little tool and you bend this thing back or forward.
Oh, to make the gap bigger.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's called gape in there.
Reggie gapes quite a bit.
Oh yeah? Is that right?
More to be investigated. I'm Doug DeMiro, and this is an Audi butthole.